All right. Hey, everybody, listen, happy Friday to you. And listen, as always, we want to welcome you to Conversations with Geoff, a special exercise in and around what we've been speaking to you about the last 6 weeks around autism and overwhelm and being empowered. Yes, earlier this week, we talked about burnout, right? And how those things sneak up on you and how you carry a heavy burden. And we just want to let you know that before you shame yourself for being overwhelmed, stay with us. Stay with us because we want you to know it doesn't make you a bad parent if you feel distressed. It doesn't make you a bad parent if you feel guilty. It doesn't make you a bad parent if you have feelings of why me. And I've heard parents share in different circles about this is really hard to hear, but they're like, man, angry at their child being the way their child is, angry at the spirit. I mean, there's a whole lot of emotion, a whole lot of feelings. We want you to know you are not failing, right? You are not failing, and you are overwhelmed, and that's a real thing. But your breakthrough begins the moment you say it's possible. No matter how I'm feeling, I know that whatever it is I'm carrying, whatever it is I'm feeling, it's possible to get to the other side. So we've got a few things I want to look at them and that can help you give yourself grace. So and you can stop parenting from shame, right? I mean, how many of us said things to our children or done things that we wish we could take back? As soon as the words slipped out of our mouths, we were reaching for them, trying to grab them, trying to bring them back in before they landed on the ears of our children, right? How many of us have felt that? You responded with, you want to respond with calm, but you responded with anxious, with anger, with some intrepidation, scaring your child. When you give grace, though, here's the thing: you can create more safety in the home, right? You can teach your child that hard feelings do not have to control the moment. I wanted to make sure I read that one because I wrote that down early and I'm like, oh man, you can make sure that the hard feelings do not have to control the moment. How many of us are carrying those hard feelings around, beating ourselves up, feeling the guilt and the shame from just being a human being, being a patient, being a parent, right? Of this process of raising children and the overwhelm and the burden of life sometimes is heavy, and we just things just happen. But when you give yourself grace, I just mentioned to you some things what happens when you give yourself grace. And that's what the possibilities are based off of, grace. That's what the belief in the possibilities is based off of, grace. And that we know in our heart of hearts that you are intended to be the best parents you can. And the feelings that you have and the thoughts that you have that may not be gracious, that may not be loving, you're also a human being. So please give yourself some grace. I think I got all of them. Stop parenting from shame, and you can respond with more calm and create more safety in your home. These things are possible when you offer some grace. So we're offering some grace to you. And yes, ladies and gentlemen, we have back again, oh man, my dear friend and expert in this space and a parent who went through all of the things that we've talked about and more. But she knows that this is her space. This is where she's supposed to be. So she can help remind you that overwhelm doesn't necessarily have to be the end of the day. So, ladies and gentlemen, before I do that, I know you guys know me, but for those of you who don't, my name is Geoff Tyson, host of Conversations with Geoff and founder of Comeback King Enterprises, who works in collaboration to take experts from all over the world to amplify the message of understanding that the comebacks can be a lifestyle and not a limitation. The comebacks can be a lifestyle that gives you the strength to overcome the stinking thinking and turn it into truth, to go from isolation and into community, man. So listen, I want to all of you to just like you've been through, let us know where you're coming from, what you're hearing from on your Facebook, YouTube, wherever you're coming in at. Let us know that. Show the speaker and experts some love. As always, go out to Conversations with Geoff and subscribe, like, and share, and help me bring the wrap up this week, this Friday. Our dear friend and the expert that has really been showing up and just laying some fire. My dear friend Tiffany Colvin. All
Hello,
right.
hello, hello. How are
Hey.
you?
Fantastic. How about yourself?
I am great. I call it Faith Friday. It is
I
Faith Friday. So we
love it.
are
I
just
love it.
happy. I'm just happy to be here.
Yeah, I love that. And faith, and you talked about something about faith being able to move a massive mountain, and I think I commented around faith of a mustard seed, and
Yes.
and no, it sounds like it's just lip service, but I mean, it truly is possible.
Yes, it truly is. It truly is. And for those that don't know who I am Tiffany Colvin. I am the author of Your Daily Ticket. I am an autism mom, a faith coach, a lover of all things autism and faith and people. And so I am here in this space, in this place with the comeback king, and we are here just to create a place where you can come and ask the questions that you want to ask to get the answers that you need concerning the challenges that you may be dealing with every day. And I have on my red because I remember when I was a little girl, I loved Wonder Woman. Wonder Woman was, my superhero. But I just want to salute all of those parents that are out there being superheroes every day, whether it is, hey, you having to put on your cape and go out and continue on when you're not feeling well or you're down about things. We are so grateful for the work that you do. And we just wanted to pause for a moment and acknowledge who you are in this place, space and place, and say to you, have a amazing Mother's Day. Whether you are a aunt, a grandmother, whether you just feel in or help support a family, we just want to applaud you and say thank you.
Amen. And like you said, no matter where you are, even if you feel like a third party bystander that's not uncomfortable with what you're supposed to do, how you're supposed to behave, but you show up anyway. Sometimes that's all a parent or guardian needs is just knowing that there's somebody beside them.
Yes,
And
yes,
and
yes.
and I'm sure in your journey you talk about it a lot, and really just how important that is. But I wanted, there's some practices and some things that you can to maybe today, Tiffany, share some. You've been talking a lot about o- overwhelm and burnout, but today we want to kind of maybe leave one or two things just for them to practice maybe over the weekend, and then both from a parental behavioral practice and then also something that can teach the child.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, yes, yes. And as we're talking about, superheroes and the challenges that they face, I always say I've come up with this term of we a lot of times have what's called superhero syndrome, and that superhero syndrome causes us not to put that cape down, but we have to. We have to at some point say, you know what? I've got to take a moment for me so that I can be the best person, the best provider for my child, for my loved one. So that is so important. And so we talked about some of these self care regimens that we can utilize, whether that's journaling, whether that's just finding a quiet space, looking into respite care, asking someone in your circle of friends or family that are trusted to just give you a break, just give you a moment to breathe. And again, that is so important, not just for you, but also for the child or the person that you are caring for. It is so important that you do this self care because so many of us become burnout, whether it is taking care of a family member, a parent, a child, you can have burnout. And sometimes we don't even notice it. It takes someone else saying something to us. And an example for me was I remember vividly my daughter saying to me, she says, "Mom, you have a lot of black. You got a lot of funeral clothes." And so one thing I just suggest that is practical is a lot of times when you feel bad, you look bad. And
Mm.
so it is so important to get up and put on a bright color. Put on, for women, do your hair, do something to make you feel good. So for some women, it is okay. I've got to get my nails done. And I used to be one of those people who's like, why is she doing that? She's got 5 kids. Why is she doing that? Well, you know what? That might be her self care. So as society, we cannot down or shame that woman. If that's the thing that makes her feel good about herself, then by all means do it. Now, I'm not
Yeah.
telling you to bust budgets or anything like that, but by all means, find a way to do it. If it's going to a beauty school that maybe charges less for you to get that service, if it is looking for on Groupon or something to find something so that you can do something for self. Buy yourself what you really like. If it's something like for me, it was a candle. Didn't cost a lot of money, but it was the scent that
Yeah.
it helped me feel better. So these are just some small practical things that I want women and caregivers this weekend to do, is find one thing that you really enjoy. It could be a Sudoku puzzle. It could be, it could
Yeah.
be, just playing a card game, but give yourself a moment to just simply breathe. And I want you to just stop for a moment, breathe in the fresh air that God has given you, and
Mm.
exhale that. And then in that moment, I want you to think about something positive about yourself and say that to yourself. And this weekend, throughout the weekend, say that thing. Speak life to your situation. As far as your child that you're caring for, speak life to them.
Mm.
We talk about the mirror moment. The other thing is, saying it is great, but seeing it is something else. So
Mm.
what I want you to do, I want to challenge you to get a little post-it note. If you don't have a post-it note, get a piece of paper and tape it on your mirror that says something positive about you, what you're doing, how proud we are of you. And it's so important as parents that we tell our children how proud we are. A lot of individuals grow up and have never heard those words. So I
Yeah.
challenge you this weekend to say to your child, I'm proud of you for this. I'm proud of you for, even if it's just for you getting up this morning, I'm proud of you.
Yeah, yeah. So powerful. The words of confirmation, right, and affirmation that remind us of our greatness. And no matter how we may have behaved earlier or yesterday or all week long, or at the moment, finding that balance and finding that peace, I believe, kind of settles things down. And
Yes.
and remembering that you're not going to be perfect. What do you want to say about those parents that that they can't do what you're suggesting because they just haven't got it right, haven't figured it out yet?
Guess what? We do not get manuals for children. If we did, we'd be doing a whole lot better, but I probably wouldn't have read the manual anyway.
Ah,
so,
yeah, I
so,
hear you. I get
so
it. I get it.
the key is this, is doing what you know to do. And if you don't know something, reaching out to a community like this one and saying, hey, I don't know what to do in this situation. What suggestions do you have? Suggestions are free. We don't charge for suggestions.
Yeah.
Email us, DM us. We will give you a, an option, and then follow through with whatever you're doing. Consistency is so important. Whether it is just looking at one task for your child to work on this week, work on that one task, but work on it together. If you guys are going to work on ensuring that you stay on track as far as time, you work on that as the adult along with your child.
Mm.
Or if you're a person that's late, if you're always saying to the kids, hey, hurry, 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 maybe you have a time management issue.
Yeah.
So, and that can happen to us all. Teach them how to prioritize time, and that can be done as simply as, let's say they're studying for a test or something. Give them a little card, write on an index card. Ask them to estimate how much time they think it's going to take to complete the task. If they say, maybe it'll take me 10, 15 minutes, really reassess that with them. Talk it through and then decide together collectively, hey, maybe we really need 30 minutes. And
Mm.
then sit the card up, get a timer. We all have phones. So
Yeah.
use the
Yeah.
timer as a source, a resource. Use the timer to determine whether or not, hey, is this a realistic expectation for my child, or do we need to elongate the time? And then again, you've been given a gift. Now you know, hey, my child takes a little bit longer than what
Mhm.
they think they need to complete a task.
Well, there's so much to what you just shared, Tiffany, around going through those stages. And I know it sounds like it's a lot of time involved, but maybe you can't do it every time. But it's what you just shared versus, hey, you got 15 minutes to do this. And they're like, they don't respond well to that. And
Yes,
then you say that, and then you're frustrated, and then everything blows up, right?
yes,
And so it's really helpful to hear you kind of break it out. And I just want to encourage people as you're listening, like I am. Yeah, it will take a little bit more
yeah,
time. I mean, it certainly will. And yeah, you probably don't have the time oftentimes, and I get it. And so when you can do that, and maybe Tiffany, what do you think they could if they screwed it up and it went backwards and blew up? And maybe there's something they could revisit as an
absolutely.
example to build from. Even though you made a mistake, make that mistake like you always talk about, a learning point and a
Yes.
gift from that. So okay,
Yes, yes,
yeah.
absolutely. We all make mistakes. A lot of times, parents that I work with that may be single parents and they feel
Mhm.
overwhelmed and they're like, hey, I tried it, it didn't work. Guess what? There
Mhm.
is always tomorrow to try again.
Yeah.
And work with the child and say, hey, was this too much?
Mhm.
Maybe 5 days is too much for them. Negotiate, teach them the art of negotiation and
Yeah.
say, hey, well, we're going to try this Monday, Wednesday, Friday. Your weekends are yours. Let's
Mhm.
just work on it these 3 days. And it doesn't mean you have to rush off to something new the following week. If you still need more time, they need more time, just continue to work on that one task. For
Yeah.
me, it was trying to get my sons to understand how to do laundry. So first it was the task of, hey, put the pot in. That's your job. Okay. Then maybe it's, hey, change the laundry from the washer to the dryer with me,
Mhm.
and then build from there. And then now I have the greatest towel folder in the world. He is better than me.
Oh, well, yeah, and I'm sure that there came some confidence from behind that. There came
Yes,
some belief in being able to be a contributor to the
yes,
family, a place where he fit, right? I mean, all those little things, the simple things like that are amazing. I just envision you guys starting out and like, oh my God, is this ever going to work? To him doing it and being proud and owning his stuff. So there's we said it earlier at the beginning of the show, the possibility thinking,
yes,
and
yes,
even when you can barely take another breath. But I love that. I love that about the laundry, and you've done so many cool things. What about this? Is kind of off, but I got to come to you with this because it just I read it today, and and you've got me so inspired to kind of make sure I'm staying in touch with the world. I, I saw a lot of information around the parents that have said, that are feeling guilty, that are angry that they have to raise a child
hmm hmm hmm
with with special needs, and we're talking about autism or giftability, but they're angry for a lot of different reasons.
yes.
What can we share to help them kind of find some peace around the real human feeling?
Yes. First of all, I want to say that it is normal. It is normal to go through a grieving process because, again, it's like a loss in your life. And so no one has the expectation that when someone passes away, that you're going to necessarily be happy. Although we all may believe that, hey, they're going to heaven, there's still a loss. You still are a human. So give yourself grace surrounding that. Then the next thing is this, is begin to think about the fact that what you are putting out, you are reflecting to that child. Do you want that child to feel as if you're mad, you're angry at the circumstances? No, you don't want that, because again, they will begin to absorb that, and we don't want that. What we want to see is you understanding that each day you're going to take it one step at a time. Don't, what do they say? How do you eat an elephant? One bite at a time.
Yeah.
So you cannot bite off more than you can chew. Understand that each day work on one task. If the task is this, I'm going to learn to be patient today, I'm going to
Mm.
give more patience to my child, then work on that, because this is much of a journey for you to mature as it is for your child. And I just say, I have learned so much from my children.
Yeah.
It has taught me grace. It has taught me to watch my communication skills, to understand how they need to feel loved. It's
Mm.
so important. I always say this, just like we have the five love languages for relationships, our children have five love languages. Figure out what their top priorities are. It could be that they love gifts. So create that in your home. Get a little treasure chest for them. When they do
Mm.
something well, give it to them.
Mm.
And so that is incentivizing the good behavior. And when they're not doing well, talk to them. Don't just become aggressive. I know you may be upset, but think, pause for a moment and say, hey, is what I'm about to say going to destroy my children? Remember, the words that we say stick with them for a lifetime, because
Yeah.
we can all remember something negative that was said to us when we were a kid. And so we don't want to perpetuate that into the next generation.
Yeah.
Again, look at it as a gift. God has given you this gift with a special label. At Christmas time, he has to put labels on things, right? We have to get them, remember the little tags they used to have,
Yeah.
so that we knew what, who had what and what's inside.
That's
So
right.
your child is gifted, and so is a gift. And so that label is just helping you to understand how they think, how they process. It is not a negative. They understand things totally different, and they might be matter of fact about things. And so do not diminish them. Make them feel good about themselves, and in turn remember to feel good about yourself, because it is a challenge each and every day. And I am not negating that, because I understand the challenges. I work with parents, I see parents and what they are going through. But I always remember the instance when I was talking with a mother who no longer had her child with a disability. And I think
Mm.
about that mother every day. And I think
Mm.
about the fact that when we're complaining, there is someone else that wishes they could change shoes with you.
Wow. I mean, at the end of the day, that kind of brings it all the way back to where we have to find gratitude no matter what the storm is,
Right.
right? Because of the blessings is really important. And
Yes.
and I like what you said. I had a note here. We can pause, reset, and begin again.
Yes.
But if the child's not there, there's no pause. There's no
That's
reset.
right. That's
There's
right.
no beginning again. I mean,
Yes.
and that's the understanding. And so grace is strength, I guess, is what we're
Yes.
talking about. Giving ourselves grace. So you're giving them, the parents, something wellness to do this weekend, and what about the child? What can how would if they were to pick, so how would they find something that they could work on with the child? What did
Sh-
you do when you had to pick one? I know you mentioned some stuff before, but what suggestion can you offer?
Sure. It's Mother's Day weekend.
Mm.
So I would suggest this. With my little guys, what we did was filling the bucket. And so I would have them stand, and each person in the house had to fill each other's bucket. And it teaches communication skills. It teaches learning how to prioritize, and one person goes first, following directions. It's working on all those skills. And we're also going to do some self-esteem building. So we're going to stand and face each other and say something positive,
Mm.
whether it is, hey, you had a great day at school. You have the most beautiful disposition. You have the most beautiful handwriting. Find something, but each person in the house is going to fill each other's bucket, and making sure that no one within the home feels as if they don't matter. And if that was to come out where someone felt like they didn't matter, then hey, sit down, use it as an opportunity to determine, hey, what can we do to make you feel good? Because a lot of times people have challenges and they're afraid to share that, and what we don't want to see, and our goal here in this platform is to help people that feel isolated. We don't want to see anyone do anything permanent for a temporary situation. We want to make sure that they understand, because it's mental health month. We want to make sure that others understand that, hey, if you are feeling bad, we need to surround them,
Yeah.
make them, help them feel good, help them to feel that they matter, because everyone matters. And the thing that you're complaining about them, be so careful, because one thing can tip someone off. And so again, just take this time, Mother's Day weekend, mothers nurture. Whether
Mm.
it's a mother or a father, we nurture. And so we want to nurture the soil that is within our own garden.
I love that. So that made me think of choosing grace over guilt, right?
Yes.
And finding peace in your thoughts, and knowing that perfection is the last thing you need to feel like you should be performing at.
Yes.
And if you're not perfect, then welcome to the welcome to the class, right? And stay in that
Yes.
space of grace and not guilt. So Tiffany, how do you close this up? I want you to take the next minute and kind of wrap up the week and close this thing
Yes.
up for us.
Yes. So the goal here is for us to go from feeling helpless and hopeless to empowered. And so, as it is Mother's Day weekend, and I was giving you some ideas of filling the bucket, here is another tactic or thing to try. A lot of children learn from being tactile, they need to touch something. So, when we're talking about pouring into them, I want you to go get a pack of seeds. I know the dollar stores sell them maybe 3 packs for $1. Go get a thing of soil, get the seeds, and plant the seed. And then begin to water that seed. And then talk to your child about, how can I water you every single day? What can mommy or daddy do to make you feel good, so that the soil that you are growing in here in the home is helping you and helping you to grow? And then begin to follow that with them. It's a science project for them. They don't even know that they're going to learn. And then maybe talk to them about seed growth, talk to them about germination, begin to help them understand the world that they live in. How does the grass grow? How is mommy and daddy trying to help you grow into the person that is going to be able to far exceed the time and space that I will be on this earth? Just use it as an opportunity. And just remember, have fun. Know that what you are doing as a parent and a caregiver is helping them to grow. As they grow, you grow. And so just look at it that way. Know that what you are doing is such a blessing and a gift to the world. And we just want to support you in any means that we can. Want you to know that you are the Wonder Womans of the world. and
Uh,
and and that sometimes you got to put your cape down, but we are here to help support you and cover you in that process.
Well, I love that example, and just the idea of the plants. And I mean, just it's almost like throwing your fishing rod into the lake and for the very first time, and then not really knowing what's going on. And the rod goes out with a worm on it, and the kid's at the end of the rod, and your parents help them reel it back, and they've got this fish on it, right? It's kind of like the same thing. You put the seed, and it's in the dirt, and hopefully it grows pretty quickly, so they don't. And then when it starts to grow, and it just an amazing example of really creating something visual that they can see and attach themselves to and talk to. So,
Yes.
as always, man, magnificent job again. And if I kind of extended. I didn't ask you, so I'm gonna ask for forgiveness and not permission. But I kind of extended the free discovery call that we've been promoting all week. We still have some slots available, but there's first 10 people. When we get to 10, that's it, folks. If you're looking for just a conversation that you got just bring your luggage full of questions, your luggage full of whatever it might be, so we can discover together, right? What's going on, where your baseline is, and what you've done before, and maybe suggest some things that you haven't tried, or just have another set of ears. And maybe you do all the talking for the call. However it is that you can begin to relieve yourself from the heavy baggage. So I just want to say thank you for volunteering for Tiffany for those giving us
Yes.
your time for that. And so register, go DM us, put DM in the call, and me in there, and I think the county is in there, but DM me, I'm ready. DM me, put me on the list. DM me, please, and we'll whatever you got to that when you hear this before Sunday. And if for some reason you get to us and we're full, we'll figure out what it is. So do not hesitate. Click the link. So Tiffany, thank you for not. You can't get mad at me now. You're still on camera.
Oh, I can't. I could never get mad. I could never get mad. What do they say? Dogs get mad. People get angry.
That's right. Either one of them good. I'm cool till I go off screen. So, but I want to say thank you so much, and happy Mother's Day if we don't talk again.
Yes.
Going into this weekend, and for all your other mothers out there, happy Mother's Day to you. And Tiffany, thank you, thank you, thank you.
Thank you again. Thank you for creating this place for people to come to, because it is so needed in today's society, a place where they can come, even if they don't want to peek their head in, they can still watch. And so I'm so grateful for that. And then being a male in this space is just so phenomenal to see. And so we thank you for all that you are doing.
My pleasure as always, and continue to be who you are. We need you. I'll see you later. All right. Thank you so much.
Bye-bye. Happy
All
Mother's
right.
Day.
All right. Take care. Thank you. See you later. All right. As we wrap it up, ladies and gentlemen, take that idea. Go get you some seeds. I didn't know you could still buy seeds, but go get some seeds, man, and a little bag of dirt and some plastic cups, and try that example, parents. I mean, there is so much. I could just see the interaction that happens. I can see the amazement when the plant begins to grow. I can just see the child's eyes lighting up at the connection there. So please, please, please. That's one of many suggestions that she has. So take this information, pass it on to your friends, share it to whomever you think might resonate with this. And as always, we want you to know that you matter. And Comeback King Enterprises and Conversations with Geoff is on a mission to amplify the experiences of others so that you can take advantage of practices and habits and conditions that can help you reset your environment, help you refocus, and help you get re-engaged in this thing called life, and remove some of the burden that is just beating you down. Find some grace, and know this: overwhelmed parents can become empowered parents. Practice something different. Take advantage of these calls, man. We're taking them off on Sunday night, midnight. Take advantage of the calls. They're free. DM, I'm ready. DM, call me. DM me in that. However it is, we will get to it. We're watching, right? So don't miss out on this. And I think the calendar link is still out there that you can register directly with me. Reach us on Facebook. But make sure you take advantage of this before it goes away. That's 1 hour listening to you talk, if that's what it takes, or listening and communicating back and forth, non-judgmental, free zone to have a conversation. So do that. Make sure you pass this on to people that you know. Give it to them as a gift, right? DM us so we can make that stuff happen for you. So, and then the end of all of this, remember, you don't have to make this journey alone. We got opportunity for you to become part of the Comeback from Heartbreak to Healing community, and wherever you might be in your emotional relationship journey, with yourself, a family, or divorce, however it might be, this community can speak to you and give you a place to find some peace and calm. So as always, we want to say thank you for everybody that listens to the live and the replay. Go subscribe, Conversations with Geoff, like and share. And remember this, your comeback is not a limitation. It's a lifestyle that builds you strength and that builds you truth, that builds you the process of finding who you are. And parents that are overwhelmed, it's possible that you can get to the other side. All right, guys, have a great week. Join the community if you're looking for a place to rebuild and reset and take advantage of the free calls. And hey, have a great weekend. We'll see you later. Bye-bye. And happy Mother's Day to the mothers, for sure.